see dope people. Welcome back to another episode of Dope People. I am your host, Hayden Green, and what we do on this podcast is that we interview dope people. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term dope, it's a kind of a throwback term. It means something that's amazing, something that's interesting. So I know a bunch of interesting and amazing people, and I want you to get to know a bunch of amazing, interesting things. And so today we have a good friend of mine, and she is very dope. So I am very happy to welcome to the stage Dr. Michell Tollinchi. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Life is good. Life is good. We just trying to survive in this crazy world.
Listen, I'm drinking my water and minding my business.
Drinking my water and minding my business. I hear you, 93. All right. So listen, we start the show off every show by simply getting a litmus test for how my guests understand the term dope. So who is the dopest person that you know or have met at least one time?
Whew, this was a hard task, and I had to really spend a lot of time thinking about this. But I have to say, one of the dopest people I know is my brother, my younger brother. His name is Joey. He has all these pseudonyms in the streets. He's known as Joe Coffee, But my brother and I were really close. We have our weekly morning calls. He's always checking in on me. But we're like total opposites, right? Like he never went to college. He's from the street of, what do they call it? The school of hard knocks, right? Yeah. He's learned lessons the hard way. But he always is positive. He will always find a silver lining in everything. When I call him, I'm like, hey, how you doing, bro? He's like, easy like Sunday morning. That is his tag. Yeah. And I have to say, for as much education as I have and much preparation, I learned so much from him. He keeps me positive. He keeps joy in my life. I call him the mayor. He knows everybody. Even when we were neighborhood, they knew him. He just makes people feel great. He fills up a room. So he's just so dope. I really love him. He's amazing. He's always looking out for me, but he just continues to teach me how to stay grounded, how to stay positive, and just find joy in everything that I do. And that's really something that at this stage in my life, I'm really, really embracing. And I have to thank him for that.
Now, that's really, now, is he your older brother or younger brother?
He's younger.
So that's amazing. And I love the fact that you can find the places that you can learn from him, because we sometimes discredit different kinds of knowledge, different kinds of
Sure.
ways of seeing the world. I'm an only child, right? And my wife is an only child. And I look for those sibling relationships that I want to model for my children, because we have two kids and we don't know. Right. We have no idea what we're doing. We're like, I don't. Should we
share?
Right. Should we enforce the sharing? Is it okay that they're writing their names on stuff in the refrigerator? I don't know.
Right. And the funny thing is, when we were kids, we fought all the time. Right. We didn't get along. And like you, I have two kids also. And so they have their moments, right? But I think as we've gotten older, we just learn to really appreciate one another in a way that now we're inseparable, and it's really heartwarming. I call him for everything. He's like my financial guru, my financial advisor. He helps me with my finances. If my car, something's wrong, he's like my go-to for everything. So he's awesome. Pretty dope.
I keep on hearing that down the line they will eventually appreciate each other. So I'm looking for those examples of people who were at each other's throats and then later on they got to like each other. That's my hope.
They will. They sure will.
So Michelle, here's where I tell you what I think is dope about you. So you and I both worked in higher education, which is where we met. And one of the things about higher education is that there is a ceiling that you get to when you get a certain amount of education, right? Like, if most of the times master's degrees are required for like director positions and stuff like that. But for most people, if they're going to get a doctorate, they do the whole linear thing. Like they go straight through school, maybe take an internship somewhere else, and then they go back and they get and they get their PhD right in quick succession. You and I have been in the field for quite some time, and you decided, as the kids say, at a big age, to decide to go back and get your PhD,
Yeah.
right? And I watched you do it, and I have a couple of other friends who also were doing things like that, and because I've gone back and forth, it's like, should I go get it? Should I not? Should I? Is it going to be worth it? And I watched you do it, and it was, for me, a real leap of faith, and I admire everybody who do these leap of faith things. And then you took that PhD and you left the state, right? Like you took another leap of faith and you left the state, and that commute was crazy, and that time that you were outside of New York and still living in New York, I saw it as a piece of your life that you felt was necessary to happen in order for you to move forward. And it is the bravery to do that oftentimes I counsel, because I'm part of a professional organization, and sometimes we get young professionals. It's like, well, Hayden, how do we do this? I was like, sometimes you got to take a job in Wisconsin, right? Because that's the position that you need in order to come back and get the job you really, really want, right? Or you got to go across the country, or you got to like do all of these different things and make the sacrifices. And it's okay to say it, but when you watch somebody like my friend do it, and like, she's doing the thing. She's that thing I told people to do. She's doing the thing. It was really, really impressive, and I found it was just absolutely dope.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, as a New Yorker in higher ed, right, this field is saturated in the city where, it's a saturated market, right? I always laugh. I'm like, we're always recycling through the Columbias and NYUs and
Yeah.
Fordhams of the world, right? And I remember being at a state where you see that job at, you know what I mean? And everyone's applying to the same jobs. And you're right. I mean, it was a leap of faith. It was hard. It was hard because I had kids. I was married, and it was a big sacrifice for the whole family. And even the PhD, like I almost didn't finish. I mean, it took me over 13 years to finish that. I did the coursework, and like many folks, I stayed
ABD.
ABD for a long time. And I remember my thesis advisor, who was the dean of the school at the time, he was like, don't be putting ABD behind your name. That's not a degree, And I was like, heard, I was like, I hear you. But I was thinking a lot about our conversation today, and I've been blessed to have just a lot of like angels and people in my life that really kind of kept me grounded and connected. And I'll never forget, one of my professors, Ernst Van Burchick, he found me, right? I ran into him on Broadway. I was working at Barnard. I was like very pregnant with my second child. And he was like, what's up? What's going on? And I was like, Ernst, I don't think I could do this. I'm pregnant. And he was like, nope. He was like, this is not going to happen. And so he connected me to his now ex-wife, but his wife at the time. And she helped me. Her name is Marianne Yoshioka. And both of them were my angels to really help me see me through this process. So it was a lot, but I have to give thanks to those people, who really helped me through, my family, right, for helping me get through, and allowing me to leave the city, right, to take on these other opportunities. So, but thank you, because it feels so long ago, and this, you go through life, you don't really recognize who's paying attention to what you do, right? And the impact that, that you may have had on people. So thank you for elevating that for me, because it was a tough time, and looking back at it, I'm grateful, but I don't know that I would have done anything differently. So, I'm grateful. So thank you for that.
Hey, listen, anytime. And look, we all have those people that are in our corner. I always say if I ever attempted a doctorate, I wouldn't be ABD. I wouldn't get through the coursework. Like, I don't know if I could sit through another statistics class. I don't know if I could do the reading, but I'll do some research. That
Right,
I already have the research topic for a
right,
dissertation, and I've just resigned to the fact that I'm just going to get a grant one day and just do the research and publish the white paper.
right, right,
I don't need a doctorate in order to do it, but the information
right,
that I think needs to be out there should be done.
right,
And
right. Yeah, and quietly, like, I don't know that I could have done it. I could do it now either, right? Because I was in class, like I was taking classes in person. And, another angel I had was my boss at Fordham at the time, who allowed me the flexibility to take classes in person. If I had to do a PhD now virtually online, it wouldn't have happened like that. I couldn't, that's just not how my brain works. I need to be in a classroom, I need to connect. So I want to shout out like Michael Molina, who is, he works at Fordham now. He's still at Fordham. He was my boss when I was taking coursework. He allowed me the time to actually go to class. So again, I don't know that I could do a PhD now virtually and on my own independently. That would be tough. That would be a tough task for me right now if I had to do it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being that person, and thank you for sharing that. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to hear what dope thing you are doing. I know there's a long list, but I want to hear what you pick. So we will be right back. I see dope people. And welcome back to Dope People. I am your host, Hayden Green, Brooklyn's favorite polymath. I'm actually wearing our new line of shirts. So this is the shirts that we have available. So if you want some dope apparel, this is Son of Man, my recreation of the Son of Man piece. So go forth and get some dope apparel. But not about that today. Today we are talking to Michell Tollinchi, Dr. Michell Tollinchi. And I want to give you an opportunity to tell us about what dope thing you have either done or continue to do. So it could be something you did that one time or something that is part of your life and you continue to do it. So what makes you dope?
Oh my gosh, this is so hard. So, I think one of the dope things that I do, and I've been fortunate to do in the different spaces that I've worked in, is working with young people, right? Like for me, whether it's at my current job now at Posse or my time at Barnard, my time at Fordham, what I do, the dope thing I do is connect with young people and really try to remove barriers for them to get to college, right? And be successful. That has been my life's work. That's been my passion. And I've just been fortunate to be given the space and the roles in various institutions to do that. One of my biggest pride and joys is connecting and staying connected. Like I have young people that I've worked with at Fordham who are parents now, who are husbands, who are wives, who are physicians, who are lawyers, that like right now will call me or text me to just check in on me, and we check in on each other. But students that I've worked with so many years ago, same, at Barnard. And so to me, that makes me dope, right? That I feel like I have had this lasting impact on people, and in turn, I continue to support them. And so, I'm just lucky, and I try my best to just connect with people whenever I can. I often offer myself all the time to help families, who may have young people going on to college.
Yeah.
I have people constantly connecting with me, right, just to simply ask my advice. And it's a gift, right? And it's something that I truly enjoy doing. So whether it's at Posse, where I'm currently, I'm the director of Posse New York, and so for those who know, it's a leadership scholarship organization, and where I'm helping young people get this money to go to college, leaders in our city, right, and connecting them to some amazing universities that we work with. But whether at Posse or wherever, like that's just my goal, and that's what I want to do. So that's sort of like my life, my work, and I carry carry that with me very proudly.
Listen, I've had the privilege of being in the room at Posse events, and not just the award ceremonies that I work with you, but also at other Posse events at different schools and things like that. And when people talk about their experience with Posse, it always comes with emotion. There's never a dry eye.
Yes.
That award ceremony, I'm like, oh, like listening to the stories and listening how Posse then helps people move through. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I once met a woman who had gone to, oh my God, I forgot which one of the colleges it is, but had gone to one of the colleges, and she had told me that she was in the music education program, and she was the only Black woman in the music education program. And so I was like, oh, okay, are you Posse? Right? Because like immediately I'm like, all right, Posse's at this school. You're the only Black person in this program. You might have got there through Posse. He's like, no, I am not. But that is my family. So, so
Mm-hmm.
I want you to hear that not only are you providing space for these people to have this community for themselves so that they can make it through, they are passing it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are reaching down the ladder and making sure that the people who are not part of this wonderful organization that you created, but understand the lessons and are passing that down. They are sharing the wealth. So you've got that trickle down effect. That's the real trickle down effect, not
Right, not that other stuff.
right?
Right.
Uh, but I think it's really dope work that you and Posse are doing, and I hope that you take your roses where you get them, because y'all are doing some amazing things.
Yeah. I mean, I can't take credit, right? It was founded in '89 by Debbie Beal, right? And I just run the New York office currently. But yeah, it's really served as a great vehicle for me, right, to help continue the work that I love and that I do, and to get to work with 11 universities and colleges is great as well. I mean, I always joke with people. I'm like, I love being on a college campus. That's like a candy store to me, and
Yeah, yeah,
so to now extend my reach to other institutions where traditionally I was just at one has been really a great honor and pleasure. So yeah, it's cool. But again, for me, any organization that allows me to do that work, I'm just grateful. And even when I'm not at work, I still do it. So
yeah,
it goes
absolutely.
without saying.
You're never off. Everybody always like, hey, listen, my kid is going to random
Right.
college.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'll call and find out. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I just responded to a college friend, on LinkedIn, who was like, "Hey, my daughter's going to college in the fall. Can you help me look for scholarships? Can Posse help?" So I get those all the time, but I gladly, respond and try to assist wherever I can. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of scholarship and speaking of a woman who has a PhD, today's dope person in history, which is how we end the show, is the first African American woman to get a PhD in economics. I wonder if you know who that is. She's the second African American woman to get a PhD at all in the country.
I don't know.
You're going to kick yourself when I tell you who it is.
Oh no.
the first woman to get a degree, a PhD in economics in the United States, who is African American, is Sadie T.M. Alexander.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. One of my illustrious founders of Delta Sigma Theta. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
And the first international president of Delta Sigma Theta. So in 1921, she got a PhD from Penn State. Sorry, UPenn. Oh my God. Aisha's going to kill me. Aisha is my wife who went to, not for you, I'm telling everybody else,
who's also a Delta, by the way.
Who's also a Delta, and used to run the Sadie T.M. Alexander conference at UPenn. And I always get UPenn and Penn State mixed up, and not on purpose. I know that they're two different schools. But anyway, you get the point. So yeah, it was Sadie T.M. Alexander. She was, like I said, the second woman to get a PhD at all in the country, and the first one in economics. And she went on to do amazing things, as you know. And she was the first international president in 1919 of Delta Sigma Theta.
That's beautiful. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know that. So thank you for sharing that. But, I think in the time of, right, like, I don't want to get into it, but here's the excellence that continues to exist in our communities, yet, we're made to believe otherwise. So thank you for your work and for sharing, your facts and your historical knowledge with our communities, right? Because, we're constantly being told that we're not smart, we haven't earned it, but thank you for shedding that light.
Yeah, it's a rough time, but this is it's a weird time because as DEI is being attacked, we are in the midst of celebrating Black History Month. So it's like, here are all of the reasons why you should not be attacking DEI, but yet and still that's what's happening. But that's a whole other podcast. Well, Michelle, if people are looking for you, where would they be able to find you? How can they find you?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, you could certainly find me at the Posse Foundation. If you go to the website, my email is there. You could also follow me on Instagram. I'm not the best at Instagram. I can't remember it. So that's probably the best way. But yes, if you wanted to find me also and learn Posse Foundation, just go on their website, Posse Foundation, and you can find me. I'm the director of the New York office. So you could find me that way as well.
Excellent.
And on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm also on LinkedIn, Dr. Michell Tollinchi. So
excellent. All right. And for those of you who are watching, please like and save this particular podcast and send it out to people and subscribe and do all the things. And make sure that if you have a person who is also a dope person that should be on this show, you get in contact with me and we will get them on as soon as possible. Michelle, it was a pleasure to have you on. I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time. Thank you so much for this platform and just for all that you do for our community. I really, truly appreciate you, Hayden, and I want to give you your flowers as well.
Thank you so much. This is the labor of love. I enjoy doing this. Well, this has been another episode of Dope People. We will be back next week with yet another dope person. So make sure that you tune in. And until then, go forth and be dope.